Willie D Live.
What's up, family? If it's your first time checking out the show, let me know what city, what state you're coming in from. If you're outside of the U.S., let me know what country you're representing. Throw up your flag. Family, I need you to smash up the like, smash up the like, smash up the likes. Also, if you have not done so already on YouTube, after you subscribe, there's a little bell next to your subscribe button. Go ahead and click that thing right now so you can get your notifications each time I drop a new video like this. That way you be in the loop. I let a few hundred of y'all come in, then I'm going in. But in the meantime and in between time, I'll give some shouts out to the early birds, starting with dun, dun, dun. Asteri Eckhart. That's pretty tough right there. Charge it to my brain, not my heart, man. Who is that? Chief. What's up, Chief? Linda Martinez. What's up, Linda? I see Connie. What's up, Connie Hart? What it do? Ricky, I see you. Let's see. Marlon Reed. Katina Tom. Look, fam, I got to go in on this one. I got to go in. I've been waiting to chime in on this one for a moment now, and I got to get to it. So we have, this is an extremely this is an extremely horrific story, fam. Kyle Basinga, a 21-year-old Georgia State University student who had been reported missing, was reportedly found dead in a wooded area of Fair Oaks Park in Marietta, Georgia. Cobb County police responded to a 911 call on February 18th after reports of a deceased person in the park. Authorities stated that there were no signs of foul play and that detectives found no evidence indicating anyone else was involved. The investigation remains open pending the medical examiner's final autopsy. Online speculation has circulated regarding the circumstances of his death, but law enforcement officials have emphasized that there is currently no evidence supporting claims of criminal involvement. Kyle had just celebrated his 21st birthday earlier this month. His family has stated that their focus is on grieving and making arrangements to say goodbye. Okay, fam, before I go any further, thoughts and prayers go out to the family. I got to call a strike and a ball, fam. This ain't the first time something like this has gone on in Georgia or any parts of these United States of America. These hangings happen far too often, and far too often, nothing is done about it. Far too often, the authorities jump at the chance to call it suicide. I wonder why. And I wonder why they're only finding Black people lynched. Oh, every now and then they'll find a white person hanging or, somebody else hanging. But most of the time, these are Black people being lynched. Black people found hanging. And let me tell you something right now. All y'all that's looking for an excuse, trying to get a way out. Black people don't hang ourselves. We don't hang ourselves. Obviously, there's always an exception, but that's just not something we do. We don't hang ourselves. A Black person, you got Black people that do commit suicide, they'll unalive themselves, but, suicide ain't our method. Hanging is not the method. We don't do that. That's just not the thing that Black people do. Again, there's always an exception, but that ain't the rule for Black people. So the number of Black men that have been popping up around this country, lynched over the last several years, is disproportionate to hangings, point blank, period. There's something else going on, fam, and we know what it is. Black men are being lynched. They're being lynched. Now, if you got any suspects, let's start with how history shaped out. Let's start with history. This country got a long, sordid history of lynching Black men, and it never stopped. What they did is they got a little bit more clever on how they sweep it under the rug. They put the Klan on the police force. So now they get to investigate themselves. Yes, we have investigated the crime and we found that no crime was committed. We've investigated ourselves and we found that we have committed no crimes. They can't solve the case because they are at the center of the cases. Most of these cases involve members of law enforcement. If they're not doing the hanging, their buddies are doing the hangings and they're sweeping it under the rug. That's what's happening. You don't give a damn what none of y'all say. That's what's happening. I tell you this, fam. There has to be, on behalf of Black people, some sense of urgency to stop being on the defense so much and play offense. Take it how you want it. But we know how to play offense when we're dealing with each other. But for some reason, when it comes to dealing with other folks, we just don't know how to play offense. We don't know how to score. We don't know how to run the score. It's time for some crash courses on situational awareness and risk avoidance. Yeah. Being alert to your surroundings, especially in isolated areas, unfamiliar environments, late hours. We're talking about the most basic and effective safety habits available, fam. You got to exercise them. If you look at most of these crime prevention research analysis and stuff, the emphasis is on avoiding high-risk situations rather than reacting to the dangers. You avoid high-risk situations. When I was a lot younger, I would go to places. I'll say something that's familiar to everybody. I used to just go to the club. I didn't care how many bodies turned up in the back of the club or down the street, or people who had came into the club, how many shootings happened. I didn't care because I was about that life. So in my mind, anybody mess with me, I'm gonna give them the business. So I felt I could handle myself. Not understanding that I was putting myself at risk. Because even if you handle yourself, you can handle yourself well. Even if you're good at avoiding conflict personally, you ain't got no control of a stray bullet. These two ignorant fools out here start fighting, they start shooting, and boom, just like that, you catch a stray bullet. You on the phone trying to make a call, and boom, you ain't never see it coming. You didn't even know it was a fight going on. You never even knew that it was somebody had beef. You never even knew nothing about the altercation. All of a sudden, you just, boom, from the time you hear the shot to the time you drop, you had you didn't even have a chance to react. That's how quick you got dropped. Situational awareness, avoiding high-risk situations rather than reacting after danger appears. See, historically, people have been at a greater risk when they're alone in remote areas. Letting somebody know where you are, traveling with others whenever possible, and minimizing time in secluded places could mean the difference between life and death. I don't know how many young women I've spoken to who told me they were headed to Cabo by themselves. They were on their way to Spain by themselves. They ain't even meeting somebody in Spain. They're just going to vacation in Spain all by themselves. I get it. You don't want to be paranoid. You don't want to live life paranoid. You don't want to be thinking about all that type. I'm going to tell you something. I'd rather be paranoid than dead. I'd rather be paranoid. Let me put it like this. I'd rather be safe than sorry. I'm not the dude. I'm not so adventurous that I'm finna carry my ass out into some mountain somewhere and start hiking all by myself. I don't love nature so much that I'm finna go out into the woods by myself. Because I know that there are uncivilized mutts in this country. And it don't necessarily have to be about race. But there are uncivilized mutts who are out in the woods. They're in the mountains. Some of them are criminals on the run. They're looking for fools who don't practice situational awareness. They're looking for people. And I don't mean to call victims fools, but that's the way they perceive them. They thinking about, oh, got me one. Got him. Got him. You're too vulnerable. Oftentimes when people are going in wooded areas and stuff, they don't even really know the terrain, especially when you're talking about a mass land of space. Hey, you might turn off on the wrong trail or whatever and get lost. May not even be able to find your way back home. So we have to practice situational awareness. We have to think about these things. Like, I want to go out there, but I don't think it's safe for me to go by myself. You going out into the woods, really going out into the woods with two people ain't really safe enough. I don't trust it. I don't think it's smart. Here's a video, two videos actually, of Kyle before his death. Check it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna start walking now because this lady's starting.
Treat me like I'm some crazy ass nigga, bro. A random car drives behind me close like that.
What?
Bro, look where you are, nigga. I was on the sidewalk right here. You was driving close as fuck to me, bro. Come on, bro.
I'm just gonna tell you again to chill out and stop screaming and don't get in my face, okay? That's the last time you're gonna get in my face.
I'm not even close to you right now, gang. Just give me my shit and I can go about my business. Cause this is low-key illegal what you just did. You just checked me for no reason. Well, what was your reason for getting my ID?
You said you were a student, so I asked your parents.
No. What was your initial reason? Because you see my hoodie. I have a Georgia State hoodie on, bro.
It's time, bro, and I'm really speaking to myself when I say this, bro. Like, it's no longer time to sit on your ass all day and, bullshit and all that, bro. It's really time to get to it, bro. Fear is not real. It's not a real emotion. Like, obviously it's fight or flight, but you're not supposed to fear a human being. And I say this to say, like, you should never let anyone try to downplay you or downsize you. Because at the end of the day, we're all equal. We're all human beings. We're all equal, bro. And for someone to put fear into you is a form of showing that, I'm not equal towards you. I'm actually above you. So you should never let anyone put that fear in your heart, man. Walk with God in your heart. If you got God in your heart, you shouldn't need to fear anybody except God. But yeah, I'm gonna start walking now because this lady's starting.
So it sounded like he was saying he's gonna start walking because the lady was following him, and there is an image of someone standing behind few people that was walking behind him while he was on that trail. Don't have the image, but there's an image out there of some people walking behind him. In fact, let me see if I could pull that in. If I can pull it up quickly, I'll pull it up. If not, I'll move on. But you guys can see it later at your convenience. Let's see. Maybe this is it. Okay, can y'all see that? Let me see if can y'all, okay, you see those people back there? These are people walking by now. We don't know who those people are, but at the very least, they should be questioned. Now, according to the authorities, they say that they pulled camera footage from the area. They pulled camera footage from that area. They looked at that footage and they said that they could not, they saw him coming into the woods, and other people say they saw him coming into the woods, but they didn't notice anything strange. They could not determine that there was anything that would suggest that there was foul play. Nothing to suggest foul play. I just find it very odd that the police are so quick to jump to suicide in these situations where you see so many Black people being lynched. I just covered extensively Trey Reed's death, the youngster out of Mississippi, who was also a student. And that's another thing you have to look at, fam. Why is it that oftentimes when our youngsters are murdered by other people, non-Black people, why is it that we always hearing about how they killed a student? They murdered a student. They murdered a hardworking father of 4. They murdered the likable guy. They murdered the working man. You never hear these stories where they lynched a gang member. They murdered the jack boy. What's up with that? Could it be that somebody is targeting our best, our most hopeful? They're targeting our future, the brightest of our future. Now, I heard the young man talking, and he seemed to be angry, but he also seemed to be on a mission of self-discovery. He seemed like he was the kind that had a beat on the system, like he knew that this system was effed up. And he was frustrated, and he had a right, and I say he was angry, but he got a right to be angry. He had a right to be angry. If you're a Black person in this country, you got a damn right to be angry. If you're anybody in this country right now, you got a right to be angry. But especially if you're Black, you got a right to be angry. It really runs me hot when I see these Black guys who have been falsely incarcerated for 30 years, 40 years, 43 years, 47 years, 20 years, and they get out. First question the reporter want to ask them, are you bitter? Are you bitter? They better, boy. Well, I don't ever want to be in that position, and thankfully, I have never been in that position, and I won't be in that position. But if I was, you damn right I'm bitter. I done lost all my years in this damn place, rotting away, and y'all took this liar's word over mine, got me falsely incarcerated. I done missed my grandmama, my granddaddy funerals. I ain't had my house raped and pillaged, ain't been able to defend my family for these uncivilized mutts. I done missed being able to raise my children or starting a family, being able to travel and live life to see that you damn right I'm bitter. And I want revenge. I'm coming for everything that's mine, and I'm coming for everybody that did me dirty. Hell is you mean, are you bitter? You damn right I'm gonna be bitter. I know we gotta stop playing defense, fam. You look, defense is good, but you can't win a game without scoring. You gotta score. You gotta be able to score. You ain't gonna win without scoring. If Kyle was my relative, I would have told him straight off the bat when he told me he was going out in the woods. I would say, man, you sure you want to do that? Because I'm not about trying to stop nobody from doing something. I don't have that type of time or patience. But I would warn him, say, Kyle, I don't think you ought to do that, nephew. Don't do that, man. I don't think that's wise, man, because you know that there are uncivilized mutts out there. There are people out there who fantasize about killing Black people. There are people out there who, if they saw you and they saw an opportunity to kill you, they'll kill you. If they saw an opportunity to hang you, they'll hang you. There are some people who are absolutely infatuated with the idea of killing a Black person. This is what you do not understand. See, a lot of youngsters don't know their history. They don't understand the evil that they're amongst. They really don't understand that. Some of them think because they have non-Black friends that everybody is going to treat them fairly, that everybody is going to be civilized. They do not understand the threat that they're under. They don't understand the danger that exists. So they put themselves in these positions where these uncivilized mutts can take them out time and time and time again. You got to be careful out there, man. You got to be extremely careful. Because your white friend that you have, your white friend might be a good dude. But you got to be so good at picking your friends that your friends are good at picking friends. And beyond picking friends, is your friend, is your white friend so cool? Is he so good with you that he ain't gonna bring you around his racist relatives? Because if you white in this country, you got a racist relative. You definitely got racist relatives. You got a racist white family member who might take joy out of taking Black life. Now, here's the thing you have to think about. No matter how close you are with that friend, if his cousin or uncle or friend harm you, he is not going to tell. That's when the rubber meets the road. He is not going to tell. You know how I know he's not going to tell? Because I don't know of any stories out there that exist where a Black dude was around white folks and ended up dead, and the white people told on the other white people. I don't know any cases like that, unless they actually was brought to justice and they had to rat each other out to save their own skin. Am I cooking? I'm going to call a strike and a ball, fam. That's all I'm going to do. I'm calling a strike and a ball. You got to be very careful out there, man. It's no different than when you hanging out with your own black friends, your own black family members. You got to be able to exercise discretion. You got to be so good at picking your friends that your friends are good at picking friends. Otherwise, your friend could have you in the car with a person who is wanted, that somebody is looking for him, got a vendetta against him, somebody in them streets want him dead, and they catch him, and guess what? You just happen to be in the car with him. These are street dudes, they ain't got no rules. He put himself in that position, but he also puts you in that position now. So you're collateral damage. They take him out and they take you out too. You got to be so good at picking friends that when your friend want to go to the weed house, that you got to be able to trust that your friend that's going to this weed house where he don't know nobody, he just heard that this is where you go to get it. He don't know nobody inside of that. You got to be confident that them people inside of that is not going to rob y'all and kill y'all for that $100 or that $200. Won't rob you, kill you, and burn your bodies in the abandoned house a few doors down. That's a true story. That happened. Youngsters, 15, 16 years old. 3 of them dead, going to buy weed. Dead. Over $200 worth of weed. Situational awareness, man. Situational awareness. That situational awareness extends to dealing with law enforcement as it relates to black bodies swinging from trees. You cannot trust law enforcement ever under these type of circumstances. When's the last time a black body was found hanging and they found out who did it and they brought the culprit to justice? When's the last time they said, oh, yep, that's murder, and we know, and we're going to get the person who murdered, who hung him from the tree? When's the last time they brought somebody to justice who killed a black person that was hanging from the tree? And when's the last time they went and got the person who was responsible for that person hanging? Let's say it wasn't a suicide. Let's just say on this one occasion, they suspected homicide. They did their homework, they investigated, and they found the culprit. Where's the last time you seen them bring somebody to justice for hanging a black person? With all these hangings that have happened throughout history, where's the last time you seen it happen? We're in 2026. Black bodies are still hanging from trees. When's the last time they actually found somebody and said, this is the one who's responsible for doing it? No, they ain't got that kind of time. They ain't on that type of time. The time that they're on is suicide, 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 suicide. Everything goddamn suicide. Every single time somebody black dies hanging from a tree, it's suicide, suicide, suicide. They never investigate. They never bring anybody to justice. Never, ever, ever. So what does that tell you? The law is involved. They in on it. They're part of the problem. If they did not hang the boy, they know who hung him. They like to investigate at least to the point where they know who did it, because sometimes they will investigate this. Listen to me closely. Sometimes they investigate murders that they don't really want to bring anybody to justice, but they want to solve the murder. They want to solve it, but they don't want to bring anybody to justice. They want to solve it so they'll know who to watch out for. Yeah. So yeah, that little thing that happened in Marietta, in Fair Oaks. Yeah, man, yeah. We know you had a little problem with that, but we ain't gonna say nothing about it, man. Just letting you know, yeah. Don't worry about that, man. Don't worry about that. They just letting you know. We know. And so now that we know we got something on you, We got you under control. They just like to know. They still want to know who did it. They want to know who did it so that they can have something on the person who did it. That's one of the plays that they run all the time. So if I'm to take a wild guess, I would say law enforcement in Georgia right now, Marietta, Georgia, know exactly who killed Kyle. They know who killed him. And they're not going to solve the murder. Because anytime they run their ass out there, first of all, they're not going to solve it anyway. But when they run out there and they start talking that suicide talk, they letting you know we ain't finna solve nothing. And the coroner is on board too. The coroner is going to rock with them. The coroner is part of it too. They all work together. They're all in cahoots. Yeah, fam. It's one big club and you ain't in it. That's my time, fam. Enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening. Whoo, man, wherever you are in the world. R.I.P. Cobb County. No more talk.